Cancer, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late August 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in energy and see what's happening for the lovely Cancer Collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the beautiful Cancerians in late August as we move from Leo season into Virgo? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Cancer in late August. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's have ourselves a good time today, my friends. We're going to have some fun reading through these cards. And speaking of fun, we have our good friend here, Mr. Bookhead. I love this card so much. If you've been watching for a while, you know this guy visits us every so often. And just that whole suit or costume that he's wearing always puts a smile on my face. Very reminiscent of the Page of Pentacles when I really feel this vibe and energy. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the August subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So as we can see, we have this young individual looking all dapper with like scrolls and books all in the arms, got books for a necklace, books for a damn hat, and it just screams Page of Pentacles to me. Now, I will say this, for a lot of cancers, now would be a great time for like locking information into your brain, whether it's like school related or it's just very studious, where it's like, all right, I need this information, I'm locking it in, I'm memorizing it, I'm searching for it. So there is like this hunger of the mind that I always pick up with this card. Now, speaking of the Page of Pentacles, I always say with all pages, there's students and their messengers. And this guy falls into that same exact bracket. So aside from like the information and the knowledge that we could be picking up here, which again, it could be a very active mind when this individual shows up, there could be something around communication that might show up within the main part of the reading when he's here. Now, the only downside to an energy like this is that like sometimes it could be a little bashful, a little shy, or a little too private. I know a lot of Cancerians, you like to have your bubble, you like to have your space, right? But this energy could also isolate. So just watch out for that in this time. But we're just going to let him chill right there. He's got a lot of studying to do. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for my beautiful Cancer friends. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So I really liked the energy we had last week. The reading was titled A Serious Win. Now, wins and victories, they always come in different shapes and sizes. I always say it. You know, sometimes it's work related, sometimes it's health related, sometimes it's personal relationships. But what I saw was like a nice wave of energy coming towards the Cancerian. So if you haven't had a win yet, hopefully it's still on its way. Energy could bleed over for a couple weeks. There was also this vibe of like, if you take it seriously or put enough energy into something or towards it, you could get a very good result. So we're going to see what shows up this week, though. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for Cancer. Thank you. 9 of Pentacles, nice. Solid, sturdy, stable. It's a great way to start a reading, that's for sure. Let's get a couple more out here. You know, normally I like an action card in the first spot because it tells me the energy's flowing. I mean, talk about action. Right up after that, we have Judgment right next to her. Wow, big shifting, changing type of energy here. Super intense. Let's get one more. Those energies are vastly different in how they present. Let's get one more here. Thank you. Cool. All right, cool. Yeah, very earthy this week, Cancer. And I think for water signs like us, that's a good thing. And water and earth always vibe very well together. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, you know me, I have to look at the elements real quick just because it lays a nice foundation and tells us how the energy flows. And as already mentioned, we are definitely earth predominant, right? With the 9 of Pentacles and 8 of Pentacles taking up the ends. And when it comes to Judgment and any major arcana, I see them as just like really powerful themes and archetypes that we might be experiencing. Honestly, to me, judgment is very Plutonian, which is change based, it's metamorphosis. So I can't wait to see what this is about, because all the energy shows in different ways. Now, when it comes to the earth that we have heavily on end, as I already mentioned, earth and water usually represent potential to me. So I really, really like that. But when we look at Earth, I think of results. I think of security and stability. I think of predictability. So whether it's day to day life, day to day routine, whether you're experiencing changes in that area, or maybe things are starting to calm down, all of that can be in play. Pentacles, that could be money, work, business, finance, anything that's long term, home and family. So when we see a lot of Earth, it represents the world around us, the earth around us. Now, normally in a lot of water sign readings, I get a lot of water and air. That's internal. Seems like there's a lot of external energy pushing around. Now, the only downside with so much Earth is that it is very slow and meticulous, super detail oriented. So, yes, the energy can be a little bit stubborn, or just slow to act, slow to move, but that doesn't mean that this is going to be rough. I'm actually pretty optimistic about what we're seeing. And then here in the center, we have the judgment, which I already mentioned is Plutonian and change based, and we'll dig into that a little further. Now, let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we have the Nine of Pentacles. And we see this lady, she's chilling in her garden. She has her pet bird, and she just seems super content and nice. Now, this is a very positive card. It could represent blessings and abundance. So that's like a really great theme. Wins, victories. It's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm fine. Love this energy. It's a beautiful stability that we're picking up here. It could also be very independent, right? Like I see this often for people that are entrepreneurial, or like going their own route, doing their own thing. Like this energy can be a lone wolf, so to speak. And that does get to the downside sometimes, because the Nine of Pentacles can also isolate. It could be one of those energies where it's like, fine, I'll do it myself. The only real downside, aside from like the slow stubbornness that could show up with this card, is I like to call it the missing puzzle piece, where for a lot of cancers there might be certain areas of life that are clicking on all cylinders, where it's like, for the most part everything's fine, but there's that one missing puzzle piece. It's the Nine of Pentacles. It's good, but I could have the 10, right? So I'm not sure if there is something that is missing. We're just going to have to see. Now, moving to the middle, we go from this very, very earthy, stable energy to one that is the total opposite. We have judgment right there in the center, with Archangel Gabriel blowing that trumpet, the messenger of God. So this does have that little undertone to communication, whether it's signs, synchronicities, omens from spirit, or whether it's actual communication with other people. Now, judgment in and of itself could represent actual judgment. So judgment calls, being at a crossroads, time to make decisions when this card is here. Which could be nice. Judgment can also represent things looping back, things popping back up, things returning. Notice there's the dead rising. So sometimes this card does show up when we need to revisit something, or there's something that's unfinished. But the main overarching theme is that this energy is explosive, it's powerful, and it is change based. So whether it's an internal shift that you're going through, an external shift, like I said, maybe with like routine and day to day life, this energy is undergoing a major transformation or metamorphosis. So that's something we should definitely keep an eye on. Now, moving to the back end, we have the Eight of Pentacles. And we see this individual there. He's working hard on his bench, right? Just crafting all these different pentacles. I always say this is artisanal. It's creative. It's expressive. Now, this is one of the bigger cards that does connect to, career and work, what we do for a living, how we earn pentacles. So, like, again, I like it because the main overarching theme with the Eight of Pentacles is effort. I'm putting energy into something in hopes of getting a result. And again, if we're not looking at work or career based things, when we look at relationships, this is an energy that wants to try. It wants to try something. It wants to put effort into it. So I usually like this quite a bit. It could also represent fixing or mending, but what might be the downside of such a beautiful card? The Eight of Pentacles can sometimes show up when we're trying too hard, when we're putting too much pressure on something. If you're working hard, and like your energy is drained, sometimes the Eight of Pentacles could drain you of energy. So make sure you're not zapping yourself out, especially if you're burning the candle from both ends. But I want to dive deeper on all of it, Cancer. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay. Let's get it going here. And yeah, this is where I go intuitive. with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Nine of Pentacles. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Cancer, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is that Nine of Pentacles here? Why is it? Thank you. Empress in reverse. Okay. So the Empress is a very pleasurable, abundant, blessings filled type of energy. And again, like her with the Nine of Pentacles, like this is absolutely a winner victory here, which I do like, and I think it is claimable. If you're connected to a Taurus or a Libra, this is big Venus energy. But to me, like when I see the nine with the Empress in reverse, it's like, oh, that's so close. I'm so close to something where it's like it could be perfect. So there is something that may be getting very close to the finish line where it's like, oh, you just need a little more. You just need to push it over the edge. Because again, remember, the Nine of Pentacles is great. It's beautiful. But there could still be one more pentacle added. Like it could be better. There is room for improvement. So again, whether this is work related, relationship related, we're all continuous works in progress, right? None of us are perfect. But when I see this, it's like, all right, no, there's still more effort needed, or there's still more to go. So we'll claim it for the win, that's for sure. The one thing I would watch out for when I see her in reverse underneath the Nine of Pentacles is that rock in a hard place type of energy. So yeah, we do have the win. We got the beautiful energy here that there's definitely room for improvement or tweaking to make something better or more efficient. But this energy to me, aside from the improvement, it could feel stuck. So watch out for frustration. Watch out for feeling stuck in a rut, that type of energy. We're just going to keep going. I don't want to overcomplicate it because I feel like I could keep going with this card. Um, I think it's good for the most part. It's good, but it could be better. That's how I'll put it. So we're going to keep going because if this energy is a little stuck in a rut, judgment is coming to shake things up. That's for sure. So why is judgment here for my Cancer friends? What do we got here for judgment? Okay. Wow. Okay, we got the Seven of Cups. So this is like the total opposite completely of what we have here, where like this energy in the front feels so stuck. This one has an overabundance of options, or there's so many different ways this thing or this situation can go. The Seven of Cups is about options, choices, and paths. It could also represent like imagination and creativity. So I do like this card, especially in the upright, because it tells me there's a lot of ways forward. But I would absolutely watch out for analysis paralysis in this time where it's like, oh, I got so much on my mind. I don't know where to put it all. Or there's so many different ways this thing can turn out. Like, having no options sucks, but sometimes having too many options or too many ways that something can turn out can also be just as frustrating. And just watch out for that. Now, I will say this: the energy here is a very, very powerful change or shift internally. So whether it's you, whether it's someone you're connected to, remember, this is internal energy in the center. We have the external, we have the internal. Seven of Cups in the upright is like a big internal change. So if someone you're connected to is acting a little different, maybe you're acting a little different, maybe you're feeling a little different, you wake up one day and it's like, oh, did I shift dimensions? It's like one of those. So like there is this powerful change that we're picking up in a massive way, but I'd still need to see how it goes. For the most part, I'm liking what I'm seeing here, Cancer. I like the direction we're going in, but just watch out for the extremes of energy. The either feeling stuck, like there's no way forward, or feeling like there's too many ways forward and I don't know which path to take. But we do also have that big, powerful change coming in one way or another. We're going to keep going. Let's see what the Eight of Pentacles has. So, intriguing reading. I'd say for the most part, I'm not like on edge or nervous about it. So, I think that's a good sign. But let's see what's up with the Eight of Pentacles, please. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is a prototypical energy of something paying off huge in the long run. So we have the Seven of Pentacles in the upright underneath this Eight of Pentacles, double sevens right here. So again, we have the repeating numbers showing up here. I always like that for signs and synchronicities. But the Seven of Pentacles is also karmic in nature. It can represent patience and waiting. So like these two cards are totally different, right? Like the Eight of Pentacles is working for something. The Seven of Pentacles is waiting on something. And sometimes in life, we need to do a little bit of mix of both, right? Sometimes we take action, sometimes we take our hands off and see how something evolves. I guess it depends on your situation. But aside from that, all the energy is moving in a positive direction. And the Seven of Pentacles, to me, is reaping what you sow. The things that you work for, the seeds that you plant, will be harvested. And I think that's a beautiful, claimable type of energy. Even if you don't know how, even if you don't know when, even if you don't know why, it's like trusting that things are unfolding the proper way. That's just how it feels to me. Where it's like, hey, listen, I don't know which way this is going to go. I don't know which route this is going to take. And that's okay. I just trust that things are going how they need to go. So we do have this really powerful payoff in the end, which I think is claimable. So for the most part, yeah, the reading isn't 100% perfect this week, but it's pretty darn good and it's moving in a good direction, even if it doesn't seem like it, because I just love this payoff in the end. There is that balance, though, to keep in mind. Again, whether it's relationships or work, there are certain times to put a lot of effort in and crack down and work. But then there's times where it's like, you know what, I'm going to take my hands off for a minute and I'm just going to let it unfold and we'll see where it goes from here. So I love the payoff. Let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. So very earthy, very practical this week as well. But if you kindly look in the box, position number one, start off pretty good, right? We have the Nine of Pentacles, Empress in reverse underneath it, where it's like, all right, this is good, but there's still room for improvement. Things are good, but they can get better. I like that because we're all works in progress, right? I did say the only thing to watch out for here is feeling like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Moving to the center, the energy does a major shift, especially internally. So whether you're having like a change of heart, change of emotion, maybe you feel totally different about something than you did a week ago. That's very possible here, or at least someone might be. Um, this feels like a plethora of infinite options laid out before you. So it's the total opposite of what we got going on here. Watch out for analysis paralysis, and watch out for, you know, like, oh, this could go so many different ways. It's okay. Moving to the back end, we have the Eight of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles combo. Aside from this change in the center, there is a big payoff. But I think it is all about balancing when to work, when to push something through, when to take action, and when to just allow. When to allow the energy to flow a little bit, right? We don't want to push 24/7. We need to let things materialize. So I think trusting that something is unfolding, your journey is unfolding how it needs to, is super important. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into that further. Let's see what's in the shadows. And yeah, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they could be a good thing. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get this shadow card out here. What's happening? What do we got? Justice. Yeah, justice does have some similarities to judgment here. Justice is Libra energy. Sometimes it could deal with like legalities, contracts, paperwork. So if you're putting your signature on anything in this time, just read the fine print and be careful with anything you're attaching your signature to or agreeing. Now, judgment can also be things coming into balance or trying to balance things off. So in the positive sense, yes, it's spiritual. Yes, it's karmic. Yes, it does speak about things flowing how they need to. So we do like it. But sometimes this can show an imbalance, especially in the shadow side. If some of you are going through certain things or situations that you might feel is unfair, that's a big thing with justice, where it's like, that's not fair. That's not fair. This didn't shake out how it was supposed to. I didn't get a fair shake. Watch out for anything like that, because feeling like something is unfair can lead to bitterness at some point. So watch out for that. But for the most part, I like the direction overall of what's happening here. So we're just going to leave justice right there, my friends. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the August subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The August calendar is up and spots go quick, so you might want to check that out. But for the August subscriber surprise, we're doing another winner's choice. I will choose 3 winners at random to either choose the Dreams of Gaia Tarot, which is an absolutely stunning deck or one of the custom made crystal pendants from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's two simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the cards that showed up in your reading today, which one intrigued you the most? Which one caught your attention and why? And you put that in the comments, you'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab / post tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.